I'm going to throw him off the gallows head first, let him crack his melon, and tell him like they told him about me. Oh, Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. He can't be put back together again. I ain't Humpty Dumpty. I ain't never took the fall off the wall because my potential has never been wasted. Because a egg is infinite potential. And to break the egg before it develops is wasted potential. And all the king's horses and all the king's men will never put Humpty back together again, because once the potential is wasted, it's like squandered money. You can't call it back because it won't come. But if you manage it correctly, the money becomes an infinite seed, a current seed, the current that you see when the goodness flow back into your life. Return of the sweet waters. Oshun speaks. The Oshun priestesses of the Califias and the Chiquita Banana Lady and all of the mascots that they turned us into. We ain't never stopped being here. Go into any tobacco shop in the South, one of them old Indian tobacco shops, and you're going to see a big Tuscaloosa looking Indian in every tobacco shop. That's because we was tobacco chiefs. They didn't have tobacco in Europe. They came over here to get that shit. So what was we doing with the tobacco? We wasn't having all of them toxins on that tobacco. Because nicotine is a neurostimulant, they had to poison it to stop you from smoking. Right? Then they don't want you to know none of this shit. They want you to think everything good for you is poison. That's because everything good for you, they poisoned it. Deliberately, with malice and a forethought and ill intent. The desire was to remove us from the land. If you don't believe me, we can go talk to Ramona Africa. We can sit down and have a conversation with the sister, and she gonna tell you how they did her family in Philadelphia in 1985. She's still here. And she ain't the only one of them still here. They didn't kill them all, but they was unfortunate enough to get rid of John, the mastermind, because they don't want no chiefs doing no chief shit on our own land. They made all our natural practices illegal. We need a license to go fish. What is a license? Permission to do something illegal. We need a license to bear arms. The Constitution said the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. By making you need a registration and a license is an infringement upon your inalienable right to be able to protect yourself and your family. The right to bear arms has nothing to do with hunting and everything to do with when the time comes to fight this government. Now, we got too many in the military of us that's starting to wake up to what's going on. We got too many of them high-ranking white hats that's now the new Jefe Blancos that's working for us instead of the enemy now, because they believed in some shit called the Constitution wholeheartedly, and they believed in that they was going to protect America from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Who is the domestic enemy? The state. The state is the domestic enemy. They the squatters on the land, the imposters, the frauds, the usurpers. They don't belong here. They need to go. Shut their government buildings down, close this bitch up, lock this bitch down. It's done. Ain't we done with this shit. If anybody, get the youngsters together. We about to start having youth summits to tell our children that they call gangbangers. I'm going to personally go to O Block and tell them what they did to turn us against each other. I'm going to personally go down there to Motown and tell them Stones what they did to turn us against each other. I'm going to get in touch with Prince Wakita and say, hey, Keita, I need your support to tell the youth what they did to our people to have us killing each other like we don't know what's going on, so we can be focused on the right enemy. I'm going to go, Cali, wherever they send for me at, I'm going to be going. But first, we got to get our shit back. We got to get organized. But Martin told us, when he discovered, see, everybody don't know that it was two Martin Luther Kings philosophically. It was the pre-1965 Martin, the Saudi assassination of Malcolm X. And right before Malcolm got assassinated, he went to the 63 March on Washington and told Martin, no matter what happened to me, go to Arizona and spend some time with the old man And when you leave, you will never be the same. And I guarantee you, you will see the enemy clearly. That's what Malcolm told him. And you know what he did? 1965. It's called the historical meeting. Martin Luther King went to Arizona, spent 7 days for 5 or 7 days. It was a week. I don't know if it was a 5-day week or a 7-day week. But he spent a week with Elijah, and Elijah gave him the rundown of the enemy. He came out of there, and he said, when we go into Washington to get our check. And then he told you why. How they undermined us, how they undergirded the peasantry of Europe with an economic floor, mechanized their firms. At the same time they was doing that, they was stealing our land through sharecropping agreements. And then they was turning around, making it difficult for us to do business anywhere, because if you didn't have pale skin, you was not allowed to do business in this game of Monopoly they playing on us. The Monopoly became a plutarchy, and we won. And Pluto represents Scorpio. And I am the Scorpion King, because I'm the king of all the Scorpios. I'm the motherfucking cyclone center. I am the eye of the storm. And I don't even want to be. That's the crazy part. I ain't want this shit. People be thinking that this shit be glamour and glitz and shit. This shit is miserable, painful, long-suffering struggle. And if you ain't got that in your blood, you not going to make it. You going to fold. You going to sell out. You going to quit. You going to give up. You going to surrender. You going to tap out. Whatever the term for loss, lose, you going to do that shit, because this is not no motherfucking easy. Man, 35 fucking years of straight book reading. I done read so many books. I be seeing books in my sleep that I ain't never seen before, and I read them motherfuckers too. I'm like, where this book come from? Then turn around 2-3 years later, here go the book. I read that book in a dream. How in the fuck is that possible? Somebody somewhere is telling me something, and I don't know how they getting this information to me, but I'm getting it. And it's coming up, and I'm coming with receipts, right? So this shit traced all the way back to Babylon. The stone that the builders rejected has now become the chief cornerstone. And the chief cornerstone ain't the chief cornerstone until it become the capstone. And the only way it can be a capstone, it got to be caught up at a royal arc degree, where the red house and the blue house meet in the middle. And if they meet in the middle, that means it's perfect center. That means it's 50-50, left to right, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, no matter how you cut it. Right? So the sisters is a 5-point star, the brothers is a 6-point star. The star Venus is the star of the divine feminine. The star David, as they call it, which is really the shield of Solomon, is the divine masculine. And when you put them together, you don't get an 11-point star. You get a shooting star. And the shooting star comes out in the form of the semen. The semen fertilizes the egg, and the egg drops down into the portal where it can be molded without the aid of the hands of man. And that's how you know that God is with us. Because every time a woman push one of these babies out, whether they snatch it out by abortion or whether she carry it to term, every time they pull him out, God was in her womb at work. At work. Whether they was what they call a heterosexual union produced, or whether they was parthogenically produced, God was still working. And if they was parthogenically produced, that tell you that God can't be no man. And Earth is a feminine planet. It's only 2 feminine planets in this solar system. That's Venus and Earth. And Venus is the divine mother that rides with the sun Mercury on her heels. And they say the elephant rode to town with a monkey on her back. They didn't know he was going to grow up to be a full-fledged fucking gorilla. Pounding on his motherfucking chest, beating on the concrete, swinging from lamp poles until these motherfuckers get the code. Did it eat, dash, the ghetto code. Because the revolution won't be televised, but this shit played the fuck out on social media. And everybody watched it, but they didn't know what they was looking at. Because right before your very eyes, you won't even realize that you can't see me. You don't know what I'm doing while I'm doing it, but because you don't know what I'm doing, you assuming that I don't know what I'm doing, when I know exactly what I'm doing. Mama said, tell the truth, shame the devil. And then Big Mama said, don't worry, he ain't gonna leave no stone unturned. So I done flipped every stone, which is every chief. I only needed 50. I flipped 50 chiefs to the public. That's all recorded, time-stamped, and dated according to the oral tradition. They can't say I didn't. I told them who the enemy was, where they came from, how they got here, what kind of war they waged, who we was fighting, how we was fighting them, the methods of war, the stratagems, the tactics, everything they used against us. Farrakhan got a clip. I might be on TikTok, but it's called "What is a Democracy?" It's from a bigger video, but the section that the brother was playing is called "What is a Democracy?" And everybody that I had named, he named was killed by niggas. Niggas. Then I just got done watching Malachi. Malachi had me pumped. Because he's talking about, they done brought all of this religious shit over here and they don't even follow it. They send the clergy first. That's called a soft sell. The soft sell work like this. I pretend to be your friend until my friends get here. Then we whoop your ass together. The church and the Crown of England and the Crown of France and their little associate affiliates throughout Europe of them lesser countries all came over here to get a pound of flesh and a ton of gold. And they paid the money for the flesh in pounds and dollars. And they stole as much gold as they could and hid it in the Vatican. In 2017, Donald J. went there and showed them the receipt. Run that, because somebody in this land is not an imbecile in law. Somebody on the land is fully conscious and is not a minor. He's a full-grown ass man that's talking this chief talk, and you're going to have to surrender what he says surrender, because if you don't, you know the consequences, because you've already been told by the Most High. And the Galactic Council is the support team. We ain't asked for the motherfuckers to put us in no light lock, put us in a perpetual time loop, called an infinity loop, to fight this war till somebody came out victorious at the end. This was a no-holds-barred match. They did everything they could to break the rules to beat us. We followed the rules, educated ourselves out of the condition, and now they mad because they lost. They tried every fucking lie, every form of deception, every form of murder, every form of lynching. They turned us into strange fruits, barbecued us, roasted us like hot dogs, stuck us in vats of boiling hot oil, everything they could to make us forget who we was. And guess what? I wasn't here until now, so it didn't work on me. That shit only work on the people that went through the suffering. I woke up from the amnesia because the shit that you needed to reinforce it, I wasn't here. Because had I been here, you'd have lost a long time ago, you stinking ass motherfuckers. I'd have been putting my foot up your motherfucking ass, and I'd have rallied the motherfucking troops from coast to coast, from pole to motherfucking pole. And we would have tore y'all ass up. And that's why I told them motherfuckers, don't call me until you can't figure it out, and make sure I'm the last resort, because I don't want to be fucked with. And they fucked with me. Who the fuck conjured me up for this shit? Oh, them niggas is at it again. I thought I got rid of y'all son of bitches the last time we did this shit. But a couple of y'all crept back through some portals. It won't happen this time. It won't happen this time. Because every motherfucker that's loyal to you motherfuckers, whether they earthborn or not, got to go with your ass. Get them out of here. Clean this shit up. Separate the wheat from the chaff. Drag the dirty players out in the public. Let the people see them rotten snakes for who they is. Let the chiefs speak and tell the report to the people, because it's the people that we got to satisfy that we've overcome the obstacle and the enemy. It's not the individual. So when enough clansmen know, when enough of the OGs teach the YGs about the wars they waged on us and about the means that we use to overcome it was to educate ourselves out of the condition, then their whole system collapses in their face, because now they don't got no support. That's why they got Kamala up there. She's supposed to fail miserably because we waking the fuck up too fast and they can't stop what's coming next. This shit big. The ship gonna land on Emerald Lake in Colorado, the Crystal City, and you know it as the Emerald City on the Wizard of Oz, right? Follow the yellow brick road. The yellow brick road is paved with gold. And that's all of the good intentions that motherfuckers had on their way to riches. But they lost their riches on their way to Oz, trying to get a heart that they already had, trying to find some courage that they already used, trying to find a brain that they never even knew they had. Right? So whether it's all added up on the Toto, which is the dog that walked on the heel of the white girl, is the same as the black dog that walked on the heel of the great father in reverse, upside down, turned around in your face. That's why we gonna drop the White House on their head, just like they dropped that house on Dorothy. I mean on the Glinda, the good witch. The old wicked witch, she burnt, and I done confiscated her flying monkeys, because now they all flying motherfucking GDs and flying Crips and flying Vice Lords and flying Disciples, because Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, has spoke, and the king of the monkeys is a Hanuman, because the Hanuman can handle any man, woman, or child according to their desires to be on this planet. And if you don't know who the guardian of the earth realm is, you need to wake up and snap out of the slumber, because y'all all know who the fuck this is. Y'all all know what's going on. You just don't remember because they put us in a stupor. They use the Babylonian blood magic, the Babylonian sex magic, and the Babylonian money magic. And it don't work on me because I know how it works. And once y'all understand how it works, it won't work on y'all either. That's why I told y'all the mechanics of it with BDL. We told you how the blood magic worked, how they using it, where it's written at, showed you the references. Now I'm telling you, and I'm telling you where to look to find out that they waged war against the 9 treaty tribes. They called the 9 treaty tribes from the Supreme Court of the United States of America. They called the 9 treaty tribes foreign dependent nations. No, domestic dependent nations. They call them perpetual enemies. They call them outlaw tribes. And then they call them 9 treaty tribes. We the ones don't want to do no business with them. Which was about 98% to 99% of all the tribes on the land were outlaw tribes. And the reason they call us outlaw tribes because our jurisdiction fell outside the parameters of their law. We don't have nothing to do with their judicial system until we start forcing our way in there with picket signs and goddamn protests. Talking about some equal rights. I mean, you can't have equal rights with a motherfucker that feel like he's superior to you and you some kind of animal. They classified us as less than human, the 3/5 compromise, just so they can say we ain't got no rights that they bound to respect. Man, gut that motherfucker from his testicles to his tonsils. Straight up. Split him open and let his guts hit the floor. Because we not buying that shit no more. We can think too good now. We can read too well. We got too many of these baby G's coming up that's listening to motherfuckers like us, that's telling them what's going on the land, and they remembering. And they remembering in such a way. This is your crystal generation, your what they call them, your rainbow children, the rainbow tribes, to restore balance back to earth that the old elders tribesmen spoke of. The old Hopi prophecy that said America would come and it would go, and we'll still be here. All of this stuff is fact checkable. You can check the facts on this, even though the fact checkers is trying to cover up the facts by disputing the truth, calling it a lie. That's like the dude that went to the David Copperfield show that know exactly how the trick performed, trying to tell you that plane really did disappear. But he know it's a trick, and he know how the trick performed, and he trying to convince you that the illusion wasn't an illusion. Motherfucker, I see through that shit just like you do. I know how he made the plane disappear just like you do. I know how he made the elephant disappear. I know how he made the tank disappear. I know how he floated across the goddamn Grand Canyon. All of those were illusions. He wasn't motherfucking David Blaine. He wasn't Chris Angel. He was just another motherfucker that was running an illusion. The real magicians, y'all ain't even seen him yet. Y'all haven't seen him. Since it's chiefing with the chief, I need to light up my... I'm on one tonight. I'm on one tonight. Anyway, so we know who they are. We know where they at. We know where they were. We know where they was removed from. Woo, that was smooth. I had to get that off my chest because most of us don't know the reason why we can be 100% innocent and still go to prison is by design. And then, not only that, they will pay one of us to lie on one of us because we don't know no better. They taught us how to be professionally ignorant. That's the only degree they ever gave us, is a degree in how to be an ignoramus 101.